Hello everyone, welcome to a chatty get ready with me. It's been a little while. I wanted to do the look that so many people liked from a few videos ago. It was the orangey yellow eye with the purple lip, and I was originally going to try and do it with a couple other looks and do like a 3 looks 1 palette. However, I just haven't had the time to do it, and so instead of doing nothing, I thought that I would still do that look, and I'll just tie it in with a chatty get ready with me so that I can chat about a couple of things. It's been an interesting couple of weeks, to say the least. I mean, not very exciting, but just interesting. So the palette I used for the eye look, I'm going to try and use everything that I use the same, although I never remember. But this eye look is something that I've worn a couple of times when I've been using the Sunset palette because I really wanted to play with it and get comfortable with it, and I love it. I hate that I love it, but I do. And I used 4 shades, I believe, from this palette. I think they're all fairly easily dupable, except for maybe not the Mandarin shade, which is this shade right here. That's the shade that's going all over my lid. But anyway, I thought that I would take you through it since it's very, very simple and talk about some of the stuff that's been going on. I need to not buy any more makeup. I need to not buy any more because it's incredibly overwhelming, the amount of stuff that's coming out, and trying to keep up with it all. It's virtually impossible, and I don't know who I'm kidding trying to keep up with the releases, and I want to try everything, but it's just not practical and it's not possible. I placed a couple of orders for things recently, and I have a little bit of buyer's remorse just because I didn't need the stuff. It was more just a wanting to try it, and you know, clinging to old habits and traditions. That's why I got the Give Me More lip set from Sephora. So that's what I ordered. I ordered one of the mini Huda Beauty jewel tone palettes. I got the emerald one, the green one, and I bought some false lashes, and then I ordered from an indie brand called M Cosmetics. I really wanted to try some of their shadows, and then I placed a Cleona Cosmetics order, which isn't actually for me though, but I am doing a swap with somebody. They are sending me some indie brands that are more easily accessible in the US. So Cleona Cosmetics is Canadian, so it's gonna work out, I think, for both of us. But anyway, I'm just layering the Mandarin shade on my lid. I really like the way that the Natasha metallic formula applies from both the Sunset and the Lila palette, because I don't use Fix Plus. I've actually tried using Fix Plus with these shadows and it does not work, but I just have to build it up slowly. And I'm trying to be more careful of fallout, because there will be fallout with shadows like this. Like, there's already a tiny little bit of it, but I don't have anything else on my face. I just put my eyebrows on because I just thought it'd be easier that way. So I have some notes in front of me if you see me kind of looking down, because I want to make sure that I hit the things that I wanted to talk about. But yes, one of the things is definitely the need to step back from the releases, the new releases, and realize it's okay to not have everything, and it's okay to just use what I have. And it, you know, it's FOMO. It's also like pressure. I feel like sometimes people are expecting people to use certain brands. They want to see certain things, and it's really difficult to keep up with sort of the demand of it. And I don't get PR anymore. I got a PR from a couple of brands, and you know, you start speaking your mind and you start saying stuff and you don't get anything anymore. I'm okay without it. You know, I'm surviving. This isn't a job for me anyway, so it's not like I need to have content out 24/7. It's not like I have to have all the new releases immediately. Otherwise, you know, I can't benefit from or view, because so many times the people who benefit are the people who get them out first, which tends to be the people who get the PR. And I don't care about any of that. You know, I've never been trying to sell things to people. And that's also part of what I'll be talking about a little later when I get into applying some other products, just because there's things that I have that I don't necessarily endorse that I'm using, which is kind of on the same topic. I don't know, I'm probably going to drift in and out. I'm trying to keep it as cohesive as possible. So I'm just using an orange shade now, Horizon. This shade right here in the middle on the outer corner, because I just piled on Mandarin, but I didn't blend it out. This is how I did my makeup for work a few times, and I got so many compliments on it, and it was so simple. It's just orange on the outer corner and then a little yellow blended in the middle, and it's just a very easy sort of sunset kind of eye. But I think a lot of it is that Mandarin shade, because it is this orange shadow with gold shimmer, and it has this really pretty like duochrome reflect to it. So I think it's a lot to do with that shadow, but orange and yellow and gold, it's a very easy sunset thing. So I really enjoy these sort of fall colors. So anyway, sticking with the YouTube thing, I guess, a couple of weeks ago, no, a week ago, I woke up to some notifications on my phone from people saying, oh my god, did you see this? You are YouTube's creator on the rise. And they were sending me screenshots of it showing it on the trending page or the trending tab about how my channel was the chosen for creator on the rise. I had not been given a heads up by YouTube about this. Normally they do give you a heads up, like they send you an email and stuff. I didn't get any of that. But as soon as I saw the notification, my heart just dropped. I know it sounds dramatic, and so many people are saying like, oh my god, it's such a great thing. It's so exciting. But for me, it was incredibly terrifying, just because I knew what was going to come along with it. Like, I hadn't gone into my YouTube comment page at this point yet, because I was just getting up, and one of my routine things in the morning is I just scroll through my notifications on my phone. It tends to be a lot of Instagram stuff. And when I saw that, I was like, oh no. And that was a Saturday morning, and I went immediately after I read that to my computer to check my comments thing, because I just go right directly to the page where you can read all the comments, so you can like mass respond all at once. And then there's different sections. There's like just your automatically approved comments. There's the filtered comments, so things that YouTube either decides has bad or inappropriate content in it, or things that match my keywords. And then there's the spam filter. So in the spam filter, it's a lot of people saying like, oh my god, I love you, check out my channel. And like with links to their own channel. Anytime somebody puts something that has a link, it tends to go to the spam file, and then the filter file is the inappropriate words. So I saw so many comments in the inappropriate field, and I was just not, I was not excited about that, let's say. It was not an exciting thing, and there were a lot of not nice comments, which I knew there was nothing that I wasn't expecting, because as soon as I saw that, I was like, I know exactly what these comments are going to be. And they were exactly what I thought they were going to be. I was on there, I think you're supposed to be 24 hours, but I was definitely not on for 24 hours. I checked on a couple devices around that time when I first saw it, and it was like around 9 o'clock in the morning or something like that. And a couple of hours later, like around noon, I wasn't there anymore, and I had so many of these comments just go straight to my filter section. So I'm hoping YouTube just kind of did me a favor there and took it off, because it was really bad. I spent most of the day in bed that day. I was just not having it. It was very tough. I just went through and started manually deleting everything. I was like, I'm not even going to look at everything. I'm just deleting a whole bunch of stuff. And yeah, it was rough. So I know it was supposed to be like a good experience and like a positive thing, but for me, it definitely wasn't a positive thing. And I 100% would have said no if I had been asked about it. If I had been given the option, I would have said no to it, because I'm not trying to grow my channel. I do what I do because I like it. I like having an outlet to talk about makeup. I like potentially helping people in some way. You know, I've had a lot of good feedback in that regard. You know, maybe entertain people and be an escape for people like some of the other people that I watch art for me, because I know how much it can help. And the fact that I've had more people than I would have ever possibly have imagined say that they got something out of my channel, that's why I do it, not to grow by numbers and not to get stuff out of it. Like, I 100% don't want to be a YouTuber professionally, you know. I'm absolutely fine with it being a hobby, and that's all I want from it. So anyway, a few people knew that, and I'm very grateful for those who checked in on me and were like, hey, no, this is probably your worst nightmare. How you doing? And it was good to kind of talk about it and kind of stay grounded, just because it would have been really easy to go into a very bad mental place if I had read the comments too seriously and I had gotten too far into my head, which is something that I've been trying to avoid doing. And it helps and it doesn't help. It's also why I've been kind of uploading a little less, is because before I used to sort of muddle through my darker mental times, shall we say, and it was definitely reflected in what I did. So whatever I did, it would always have that sort of like storm cloud above it, you know. It wasn't a good escape for people who potentially would need that kind of escape. It wasn't like a positive environment. It was helpful for me to keep going, because whenever I step back from things, it's when I can kind of get perspective and realize like, hey, I don't want to do this. And that's the thing that I've been wrestling with myself a little bit, is that it's like, this is a hobby for me, 100%. It should be fun. I was torn, and I'm torn because I feel like when I do come back, I'm definitely better. Like, I feel, you know, like even now I can tell that even though I'm not 100% in a good spot, I'm still better than I would have been like, you know, 3 or 4 days ago. So is it better for me to just sort of muddle through and do stuff more often, or just do stuff when I am really feeling it and I'm in the mood to do it? So I think that the second thing is the thing right now, what I'm going with, which is why you will probably see less videos from me than you have before, just because it's every day is its own sort of struggle. Not every day is good. So I'm mixing a foundation cocktail on the back of my hand right now. I have a little bit of the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. So I got a sample of this, and then I got the full size because I like the way that it worked, because I used it as a foundation, not as a concealer. And I mixed it with a little bit of the MAC Studio Water Weight Foundation. And I'm also going to mix it with a pump of the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation. So this is just a really unnecessary mixture of stuff, but I like a lighter foundation, but then I like the heaviness of the Bye Bye Under Eye. So it looks pretty on camera, can I say? It kind of like blanks everything out, but I've been having kind of a good skin time recently, so I've just been liking the extra coverage. I'm trying to get my mirror down there in front of me. So I have my color correcting and stuff on, as you probably know already, because nothing has changed in that regard. I feel like my skin's better because I've been trying to drink more water. I've been trying to, in my downtime, instead of just sitting back, like normally another thing why I wanted to keep going and why I'm like I have to upload this many times a week, and why I have to keep going, and why I have to, you know, edit here and film there, is because when I'm not doing it, like I don't have a whole lot of other hobbies. So I found that a lot of the times I would find myself just sort of going to bed early and lying in bed and like watching Netflix for hours, and just generally not being that healthy and not being that good to myself. Even though it was sort of like, oh, but you know, you're pampering yourself. It's sort of like everything has an excuse. It'd be like, oh no, I'm taking time for myself, but it wasn't beneficial for me. It wasn't doing anything positive for me. So I've been trying to drink more water. I bought myself a Fitbit so that I can sort of track my steps. I'm very motivated by numbers, but almost too motivated by numbers. I've got a very complicated history. And one of the things that can be triggering for me is obsessing over numbers, but I do feel like it's helpful for me to like hit that step, and I'm focusing more on healthier things, trying to. It's a struggle for sure, but I'm trying to embrace it more and, you know, be in a healthier state of mind overall. So I've been trying, and I feel like that's why my skin's better though, because I feel like I've been better to myself and better to my body and better to my skin. So I feel like that's a benefit of it. I know I'm just rambling now, but I'm trying to focus on what I'm talking about and also focusing on blending my foundation. I should probably just finish blending the foundation. Okay, so I'm gonna jump back to the eyes now. I just put a little bit of the Becca under eye brightening powder underneath my eyes, but I didn't use any concealer or anything. I find that color correcting really helps camouflage the dark circles a lot. Now, sometimes I regret saying that when I look back at the footage later, because it's like, oh, it's very obvious. I should have used color corrector. But so I just lined my waterline with the Urban Decay 24/7 eyeliner in Torch, which is just a matte orange. So the rest of the eye look is very, very simple. I just sort of mimicked the same thing that I did on the top, just to the bottom. So in the middle portion of my eye, I have Mandarin, and then I'll have a little bit of Horizon, the matte orange, on the outer corner, and then Soul, the orange, on the inner with a highlight shade. So it's a very simple look because it was something I came up with when I had very little time when I was getting ready for work. And I was just like, how can I create a sunset look very, very quickly? And this is the result. I never claim to be a magician when it comes to makeup either. I'm definitely a novice, and I'm definitely always learning. I'm not somebody who does tutorials often, if at all, because I don't know how much you could actually learn from my technique, because I just do what I think works for me and what I end up liking the result of, which isn't necessarily what everybody else likes. So it's just a lot of blending, because when I did this before, I just really wanted all the edges to be very soft, and I didn't want anything too structured and like blown out and angled, and I didn't want anything to be too perfect. Like, I just really wanted the edges just completely softened and like into the skin, because I'm definitely going for like that fall sort of hazy sort of vibe. So that's the basics of the eye look. I'm going to use Circuit from Clionadh Cosmetics next, to no surprise to to no surprise to nobody. To no surprise, I'm sure, because this is my favorite highlight shade, because it's this gold reflect. And I think that it layers really beautifully on top of the yellow. Sometimes I get a little too heavy-handed with it, as in always. I'm putting a little bit underneath my brow bone. So that's really all there is to the eye look. I'm going to mascara now, and I might entirely skip false eyelashes, because when I normally worn this look, I have skipped false lashes. The only time I wore false eyelashes for this was when I did the look in the video, just because I find that false lashes look better on camera from a distance, but like, I think mascara on its own is 100% fine. And like I said, I wore this to work and got so many compliments on it. I just wore it with a nude lip, not with the purple lip, but it's still, it's powerful because the shadows are so bright and they do so much of the talking. So the rest of my makeup is very simple, as it always is. I just have a little bit of bronzer. This is a bronzer, which normally I would wear as a bronzer, but I don't have a contour powder in front of me, I don't think. I'm not sure where one is. I'm still panning my Kat Von D one, mostly because I don't want to spend the money on a new contour palette yet. If I even want to do the contour route, I just, as I mentioned before, I want something a little bit darker. So I'm exploring options and I'm looking for sales and kind of waiting for the right thing to speak to me. I have a list of things that I'm considering and I love all the suggestions you guys gave me. I love that whenever I mention something that I'm looking for something, people give so many good ideas and I always have these little lists going where I'm like, if I see this on sale or when I run out of product X or Y, I'm gonna buy this one. Sometimes when I film, I will use a cream contour as well, just because the lights in my camera and stuff can make it really hard to see contouring, and then everything looks really flat, especially with a fairly full coverage heavy foundation. So the highlighter, I've been using this so much. Look at the pan. Look at the pan on this highlighter. This is from Pixi. I did get this as PR, which I'm pretty sure I mentioned before, but just thought I'd mention it again in case. It's so worn. I just got this, July, and it's Subtle Sunrise. It's a glowy gossamer duo, and it's just this side that I love so much. And I'm always, every time I'm filming, I guess, unless I'm wearing like a colorful weird highlighter, it's always this highlighter, and I love it. Sometimes I definitely go too heavy-handed with it, but what can I say? It's not subtle, it's very glowy, and it's just my favorite shade because I love light gold shades, because I mean, I just love gold in general, but I can't get away with a deeper gold highlight on my face because it's impossible to blend. I've been reaching for a few things that I'm panning from brands I no longer buy from, and I feel like it's hard to explain this to people because they're like, why are you using it? Why are you using it on camera? But my point is to use things. And I'm never trying to encourage people to buy stuff. So I've definitely been reaching for my Tarte blush palette recently. This is old though. This is 2 years old, I think. And I know it's not gonna last much longer, but there's a lot of product in here and there's a lot of good shades to use. So I have been using this a lot as my blush lately, just to get some more usage out of this. And I know there's gonna be somebody who's gonna not take it the right way, but it's just to use this stuff up. It's also why I don't always respond when somebody asks what I'm wearing, what particular product, because it's hard to explain to somebody that's like, yeah, this is the thing I'm using, but I don't actually support this brand. I'm not looking at giving the brands, you know, any positive attention. I just want to use stuff up. I just want to use it up and leave it at that. So this is the lip combo I used. I used a Bite lip pencil. This is number 44, and it's a purpley lip liner. So originally I was thinking about putting a gloss on top of this, and then I realized I wanted a lip color, but I wanted something matte, and I wanted something that was going to dry down. I didn't want something that would transfer, especially when I'm talking a lot. There's some things that I really like some of the NYX liquid suedes, but they definitely transfer if you talk a lot. Like, they're the things that they're a cream product and they don't dry down. So if you're talking a lot, there's a higher chance that it's going to transfer to your teeth, that it's going to go outside of your lip line. They're not products I often like to use on camera when I'm doing a pretty chatty video, just because I know it's gonna happen, which is why I use this one. This is Raven from Lime Crime. So this is something I bought originally to use on camera, then stopped using it entirely. I was not using any sort of controversial lip products on camera anymore. I definitely had a lot of discussions with people, but then I realized I wasn't using these things at all, because I'm not gonna wear a color like this to work most often, because it's just not me on the daily. I tend to be a very bold eye person and a very neutral lip. Lately, I've been all about lip balms and glosses and very light sort of pinkish neutral colors. I haven't been wearing anything dramatic, and it's really high maintenance, and I just can't be bothered most of the time. Not all the time, but just most of the time. And so these things are on their last legs. I've been saying that for a while, but this is definitely the last fall for a lot of the lip products that I have. And so I want to get a little bit more use out of it because I'm creating looks and I'm not advertising brands. And I know I can find other things later, but I don't want to replace like $300–400 worth of lip products that I would only use for filming. Considering most of the times I'm not even doing tutorials. You know, like if I was a tutorial channel, I would totally have replaced all these already. But I'm just doing makeup for filming. Most of my videos are chatty videos, which I love so much, and I don't want to not use these things that I paid money for that are just sitting there. Doesn't make a lot of sense. So I hope that made sense, that I'm not going to be supporting these brands. I'm not going to be purchasing from them again. I'm not going to be tagging them or talking about the products that I used. You know, it's a deep purple liquid lipstick. That's what it boils down to. You know, if you want to recreate a look like this, it's so simple. You just need a deep purple lip and some orange and yellow eyeshadow. Like, that's what I'm more about than, there's a fly in here. That's what I'm more about than trying to sell somebody on a specific product. Anyway, that is everything for me. I hope that was clear. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Thank you so much for watching and spending some time with me today. I really appreciate it, and I hope we get a chance to chat soon. Bye for now.